Now, so it's like this. You know, we are born and then we want to grow, and not just physical growth, but as we're growing, we want to make it in various ways, financially, personally, emotionally, and otherwise. Now, we try to do things that we think can take us there. You know, you get enrolled into school, you get enrolled into learning other things just so you can add up to things you already know and then make a better life. Well, others would turn to maybe get married. They call it growth. They want to have children. You have all those ambitions. Sometimes you just end up thinking about them and you're looking forward to having those goals achieved sometimes. Now, how do you navigate your life such that you actually grow? You're not just sitting and thinking and dreaming, which, however, is important. You need to think sometimes and dream of these things so that you kind of have a perception of what you want in the future. And then you now want to get there. It is life. It is no roller coaster sometimes, but you want to achieve it and make sure that you live in it and savor it and just enjoy the growth. We're trying to talk here today on how to grow as a woman. You know, with men, it's the same thing. Everybody wants to grow. But with women, sometimes it takes a little more effort because we're us, you know. We're women in our own way, and it's never the same thing. So we will try to find out today those routes, those ways by which you can navigate your entire being and make it in life. You grow financially, personally, but you grow, however. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to Femme. Of course, it is another beautiful day when we're going to sit together here as women and talk about things that concern us women. Oh, yes, we so love talking about us. Well, we are kind of the core of the society, you know. I know you could be jealous, but it's okay. Well, it is a beautiful day because we have beautiful personalities with us today. We're going to be talking growth, of course, personal growth, ways by which we can navigate our lives and ensure growth somehow as women. Well, we will talk about men in the background, but here we want to focus about us women because we feel we're special. I don't know what you think, but I know you know what I'm saying is true. I cannot, of course, handle all of this all by myself because I need some light, you know. It's dark enough, so let's bring some light into the studio. And of course, that will be Linda Obumneke, who is always here and with a beautiful smile too. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Viviana. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Thank you, because Viviana, literally, I'm bringing the light to the world.
Oh, yes, you are. You are. It's just you.
So today we are talking about women as usual, and it's all about creating those routes for success, for personal and financial growth. And Bibiana, you mentioned the fact that it's always kind of challenging for women to grow. Well, that's because women are multitask.
Oh,
so
yes.
let's take the credit for that. We want to do everything at the same time, but then we need to specialize in a particular thing for us to grow. And that is why we have beautiful women here with us, ladies,
yes.
beautiful, beautiful ladies, and like you guys. Anyways, you will judge by yourself. We have Ange Karin here with us. She is a beautician, a certified beautician.
And she's been in it for several years.
When you look at it, you know what she is talking about.
Oh, yes. Yes. That is it.
Welcome,
you see it
Ange.
all in her, right?
Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And beside Ange, we have Ngabo, Ngabu, Ngapu, Antoinette.
She got it again.
Yes, now you got it right.
Yes.
You always struggle with that, but now you got it. Antoinette Ngapu.
Thank you very much. A family marriage counselor and marriage counselor.
Marriage and family counselor.
Okay, so I should not just mix it up.
Marriage and family.
All right, that's true, because marriage before family.
Exactly.
Okay, you are both welcome on the
Thank you.
platform.
It's great to have you here.
We are happy to have you. We are happy to share your experience with you, and we are happy to learn from you.
A whole lot.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Pleasure to be here.
It's such a beautiful day beginning already with some wonderful personalities. You know, we're talking about women, and for some reason, some people feel that it's not exactly easy when it has to do with feminine growth. What's your perception of that?
Well, we're talking about the growth route, success routes for personal and financial growth. And I think that it's important to begin by telling you a little of my experience.
Okay.
When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a very wealthy person.
Okay.
I always wanted to have so much money, have so much influence, create impact. And I've always been very ambitious. But if you ask me, how much money do you want to make? I won't be able to put a figure on that.
Okay.
If you ask me, how do you measure the impact you want to create? I won't be able to put a figure on that. If you ask me, what's your image of success? What is success to you? I will not be able to define it clearly. Why? Because growing up, I did not, maybe by virtue of where I grew up, have access to strong women like that. Okay. We will see some beautiful journalists on TV every now and then, hear about a few women here and there, but then I never really held on to a mentor or somebody I considered as a success figure. And over the years, I've come to realize that if you want to grow, if you want to succeed, you must define what success is to you. Okay. You must define, because everybody's journey is different. What you consider success is not the same definition for everybody. Nowadays, a lot of people measure success as financial stability, financial well-being. And it's important that we note that as much as that's an aspect of success, it doesn't define it in its entirety. And so we have to, first of all, define what success is to you. If you want to make money, how much is money? Like, what is wealth? What is money to you? And so when I started thinking about life that way, it began to define a lot of things to me. I think that when we talk about women, talking about success is, for me, not the way to go. Yeah. Talking about fulfillment is the way to go. Because success is it's very broad, and like I earlier said, people define it differently. And so, but if you define fulfillment, it talks about identity, it talks about purpose, and then it talks about impact.
It's more personal.
And it's more personal.
You can be successful yet not fulfilled.
Exactly. And if you are successful and not fulfilled, you're going to be a miserable person. Yeah. And that's not what we want to have. We don't want to have miserable women, because the society, I always say this, is a better place when women are happy and they are thriving.
That's women.
When they are not, the ripple effect is enormous in society. The children they are raising, it reflects in the way they raise children, it reflects in their marriages, it reflects in their output at home and at work. Okay. And so you see that because they are such a huge part of the society, however they live has a great way it impacts the society. And so if women are happy and thriving in their place of work and whatever they are choosing to do, even whatever, however small, we have a better society because they are fulfilled. Right. They are fulfilled.
Well, Taka and Karine, you have 10 years plus experience in as a beautician, a certified beautician. What inspired your journey?
My story is more about passion, because for me, I had always been that kid that would probably use soap to stick artificial nails on, and then my mom would have to scold me. It's not yet the time for that. So despite the fact that my parents wanted me to be a legal mine, I fulfilled that obligation to them. I fulfilled that obligation to them by getting up to a master's degree in international human rights law. But I wasn't happy. Even while I was in school, I tried to already get into the business world. So it was a journey that started because of the passion. I never felt like I was working when I started learning how to do nails or hair or makeup. It never felt like a working day for me. So my passion thrived over what my parents wanted for me. And thanks to God that they supported my dream. At the end of the day, they came together to say, okay, this is what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. And they supported the dream. So like she was talking about fulfillment, I don't feel like I work every day because of the field that I am in. And my field is broad. So it gives you the opportunity to grow. You can be diversified in so many things in the beauty industry, and the beauty industry is growing on a daily basis. Yeah. But I always say the growth of a woman is very important. I don't think if I didn't get the level of education I got, I'll be able to thrive in my business. And every day is good to be an open book because we learn to grow. So I feel like women should be more open to growing, because you can only get to that, you can go through that success route if you are, first of all, having that willingness. You need to have the willingness and the ability. It's your mindset. You need to be able to wake up in the morning and tell yourself, okay, this is my 3 months projection for my life. This is my 6 months. This is 9 months. This is 1 year. This is 5 years. This is where I want to be in 10 years. And if you have that at the back of your mind and tell yourself that, okay, growth is important, that's when that fulfillment comes in. Because if you set timelines, dates on things that you want to achieve, on how you think you can impact your life, your society, push your family forward, your job or your business. It doesn't matter if you're in the corporate world or you're an entrepreneur. You need to be able to have that ability to set timelines and tell yourself that, okay, when I look back 2 years ago, I was here and today I'm here. And then that's when that fulfillment comes in and you tell yourself, okay, I'm determined and I'm achieving those things that I set goals to my path to growth.
Wow. It means just what you're saying, the advice you're saying, what I can draw from it is that, for example, a practical example, a woman who wants to get into the beauty industry, like hairdressing or nails, you can start from there and then you just try as much as possible to develop yourself so that you can grow. And then you now become a certified beautician. So it doesn't just happen like that.
Exactly.
This is 10 years plus. So it means that you had to go through so many paths. Yeah. So what are some of these, maybe the challenges that you've been able to encounter while growing in your business?
Okay. I know a lot of entrepreneurs will always say one of the first challenges they face is financial. But I feel that before you get to a certain level, you must start from somewhere. A child crawls before she walks. So you have to start from somewhere. No matter the financial restrictions that we have in our community, you have to be dedicated enough to start from somewhere. So maybe one of my challenges were the financial restrictions, but I didn't start big. I started small. My first shop was a 2x2 square meter canteen. From there, I went to maybe a proper store, and now I have a full-blown spa.
So how did you start?
So I started by working for somebody.
Okay.
Yes, I actually started by working for somebody for about a year plus. And then when I went to the university, I was freelancing. I was doing nails. I had just a backpack, and I was doing nails from one mini city to the other. Then I started growing my clientele, and there were now too many for me to handle. So the lady who used to do my hair was like, okay, we can partner so that you have a place where people can always meet you, other than you working in this place and then they're calling you to come and work elsewhere. That's how I started sharing rent with her for about 2 years. So while I was doing nails at that salon, that's how I picked up hairdressing.
Okay.
And that was from like 2009 up to 2013. So I got my first shop in 2013. That was the first time I established my own first shop. And it was this 2x2 square meter canteen. The rent was just like 150,000 for a whole year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 15,000 a month. So you need to start from somewhere. There's a lot of limitations and there's a lot of challenges in every single career path, not just being an entrepreneur. One of the challenges I also face is taxes. Our taxes in Cameroon, huge. They are very enormous. Huge. So I feel like every entrepreneur listening to us today will know what you're talking about. Yes. Because if I had, and sometimes I tell myself, if I followed my law path career and maybe gone to ENAM and been a custom officer, I'll have an impact in that world to revise maybe the tax laws and make sure that entrepreneurs know exactly what taxes we are faced in with and what we are supposed to pay and answer to. But they keep mounting up every single day, and you cannot even know what's the sum total of the tax you have to pay from January to December.
You don't keep track of
Another challenge is access to raw material. We know that there's the preaching about international trade and all of that, but is it really effective? Can I really sell my products in another African country or internationally? Those are barriers that we have. And as entrepreneurs, we need to find ways to come together to break those barriers. So those are some of the challenges that I face. I also face the problem with staff.
Okay.
Now in our today's society, everybody's a CEO. Everybody wants to own their own business. So somebody works for you, you get a staff, your clients start getting used to that person, and 6 months down the line, the person is gone. You have to start back from afresh, training another person on how to run and understand the ethics of your business. So, yeah, those are some of the challenges I face.
All right.
So, if it's like at some point from the start of the contract, you mentioned there that you're not going anywhere unless this duration is over.
It doesn't really work like that because, you know, if you have a staff that has signed a contract 1 year, unfortunately, a lot of us don't keep to our words.
Yes.
So when they feel like they want to leave, they're going to frustrate you.
Okay.
They might act rudely to you. They might not come to work on time. They might be rude to your clients. They might not do the job as effectively as they used to. So I think everyone just needs to pray for a committed
you
worker.
now let them go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Still about challenges. Antoinette, you are a marriage family counselor, and I'm sure people come to you with so many challenges, and it's mostly about marriage or family, something like that. So tell us, what are some challenges women face before in thriving in their personally or financially?
I like to always talk about responsibility.
Okay.
You see, before we talk about the external factors that influence or limit you from doing anything, let's talk about the ones that you have permitted for yourself. When a woman comes to my office, for instance, and starts complaining about, I've not been able to do this because I have children, my husband, I don't have capital. The truth is, you have not wanted it enough at some level. Some women have not wanted it enough. Because when you want something enough and you take the first step, the universe opens up for you in a magical way, in a very magical way. It doesn't matter who you're married to. It doesn't matter. And you have to understand that there are people who get into marriage and they don't understand that season now changes and the responsibility. So they don't even know how to act per time. And it creates chaos within a small bubble. And then you are telling some man that you just got married and he's trying to build his family and he has a clear vision of how he wants family to do, that you want to start running after this and that. But the small home that you have, you've not been able to manage it yet. And so I want to always start from a place of responsibility. That young girls, we all, should learn to set goals for our lives. Should learn to define who we are, what we want, and how do we navigate from where we are to getting what we do. That is going to inform a lot of the choices we make. Because as a young lady, single or married, you should come to a place where you define the kind of life you want to live. When you define that, it informs the kind of person you get into a relationship with. And it would keep you from some kind of problems in the future, like my husband doesn't want me to work. If you are a woman who wants to work, you will want to marry a man who will give you the liberty to work. And so your decision earlier on in life will inform the choices for you. But let's say you're already in that fix where you're married to someone who is a limitation or whatever to your life.
I want you to work.
At that level of your life, you have to define what is success for me here. And how long can I sacrifice to invest in myself and in the future of my kids? There is so much that women can do from the comfort of their home today that you don't need to step out of your house to do. And so when a woman begins to tell me, oh, I cannot do nothing, I cannot learn nothing, and you are spending 2 hours on TikTok, sister, you're not serious with your life. Like you would have finished a course on Udemy at that time. You would have started learning a soft skill. you get money for food, and you can do some little economy and pick up and learn a trade or something and start doing nails or some makeup or some soft. Learn how to do pastries. It's free. Online, I do pastries for my kids' snacks. I do cakes and all of that. I didn't learn it from somebody. I learned it from going to YouTube and going to Safari and asking.
Data she uses.
You see, so before we start putting the responsibility on other people, let's think about how are we managing our lives? What are our goals? Are we taking responsibility? And when we talk about financial growth, you cannot grow financially if you don't know what money is. What is money? What do you consider much money? And there are some kind of things that no matter how long you do, you never have the kind of money you dream of having. So if you know the kind of money that you want to have, it will inform the kind of things you want to invest your time in.
Exactly.
So if you want to have so much money, think about going online, finding a course on cybersecurity. Maybe it's a soft skill. You can work from home as a cybersecurity expert. Find some IT course. Find some soft skill, digital marketing, being a community manager for a company. Those are things that you can do from the comfort of your home. Those are small things that we need to take responsibility for. Educating ourselves. Self-education is so big. Like we're just talking about reading. You don't just have to, if you don't know how to read, watch videos on YouTube, watch podcasts, learn something, be informed. Even before we talk about financial growth, let's talk about your home, the space that you have power and control to manage. How do you manage it? Do you practice budgeting? Do you practice meal planning? Do you practice having a menu, like, you know, what are the systems you've put in place in your home
there's even the situation
to get things run?
Like she's just a housewife, like it's just nothing.
You have to know, okay, as a housewife, what kind of education? How do you follow up with your kids? Their underwears, their clothes, their outfit, their language. What do they watch? How do you spend time with them? What are the systems you've put in your place? How does your husband cater for? How do you add value to his life without money? Because value is not just financial. There are men who would have their women stay at home and never bring a franc because of the value the woman adds in their life. They feel like if this woman starts working now, I'm done. Because how will she have the strength?
The balance.
To meet up with all
work
those
and house.
It's really difficult, excuse me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get the water.
So you see that it starts very personal. I really struggle when women begin to complain about, oh, this person, oh, that person, when they have not taken responsibility. I learned sometime 2022, that every action or inaction that has occurred in my life is not because of somebody. Me. I took responsibility for all the opportunities I missed, for all the money I didn't make, for the career I didn't pursue. I took responsibility for it. And I realized that every other thing I told myself, as legitimate as it sounded, they were an excuse I gave myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're good at that, making excuses.
And we don't think.
Putting the blame
we
on another
don't
person.
think. The worst is we don't think. We don't realize that the next minute doesn't exist until you step into it and you give it life. We are in here now. We're having this show. We're talking to these beautiful people listening to us. The next minute of their lives does not exist until they create it. For instance, as you're sitting there watching us right now, if your phone rings and you choose to wake up from where you're sitting and go and pick that phone, and before you come back and you have missed just a segment of this program, that's a decision you made. And the impact of it happens to you immediately. Because that thing that you miss, you may not be able to catch up for the rest of the show. You get, but then it doesn't mean that the call that you picked was wrong either, because it might also be an emergency. And so every decision we make per time has consequences on how we live life, on the things that we do, on the people we become. And so before we put the blame on, oh, this challenge, that challenge, to come back to say some real challenges women have is the lack of, first of all, I would say examples.
Okay.
Very few women have good examples from home, maybe. Like maybe their mothers were not, and they didn't have a strong role model to look up to. Secondly, the economy of our country is not helping. Financially, we cannot maybe we could be comfortable because we have passed some level of challenges, but then there are people with real problems.
Yeah.
With real financial problem, that 1,000 francs a day is an issue.
Yeah.
Those challenges are real. And that's why we are creating platforms where we can empower some of these people, give them a push, help them learn a trade, or you know, partner with organizations or companies that can teach them for free. And then we set them up and they have a sustainable source of income. When you're talking to a single mother or an IDP, their challenges are different from yours. Some people have health issues, long-standing health issues that limit them from, you know, being able to do some kind of things. And so it puts them in a place where it's difficult to thrive. And so you have to understand that. And when you come to that place where you have realized and known your reality, you have to define success for you within the dynamics of your reality. Success for her is not success for me.
Sure, exactly.
Success for you some days is just waking up from bed. Success for you is being able to eat your own breakfast that morning. And so wherever you find yourself, you want to be able to define the parameters that work for you.
What
and
about
live
the fact
within
that
them.
some people get to change their ambitions to success? Like the level at which you call success to you. You tell yourself that, okay, let's say I'll be happy when I have 10 million francs, and then later they have to maybe go back to it. And maybe it's getting a little difficult, and it's okay. I don't want to exaggerate, so I'll be happy with just 7 million. Or they get to 10 million, and they're like, okay, maybe I'll be rather happy because you thought that would make you happy. And then you get there, and then you realize that, well, it doesn't exactly make me happy, and you start wanting to change that skill. Is there a problem at that point?
I think, sorry.
Yeah.
First things first, you cannot, when I'm saying all these things, I'm talking about the smallest things, the basic things. It doesn't mean that women should not be ambitious.
Of course.
No, I'm sitting beside a very ambitious woman. If I joke here, I'm going to receive a left hand.
I feel like
you can. You cannot, yeah.
As a human being, we are wanting beings.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
never contented.
Exactly.
If your goal is 10 million, when you get 10 million, you're going to
You
want
want
more.
20, yeah.
Okay.
But now, what determines your wanting more? It's the work that you put in. You cannot just say, okay, I want 10 million, and then when you get there, you relax.
Oh, I've had 10 million. Good.
Yes. You're going to be wanting. You're going to want more. But what do you do to grow that more? A lot of women, a lot of us women are comfortable, especially African women. We are comfortable with where we are.
With the basics.
I'm talking about entrepreneurs and 9-to-5ers, like people who have corporate jobs. You need to be able to sit and do a retrospect. What value do I add to my company? What value do I bring to my company? Are you just, you can be the most punctual staff in an organization. You come to where you'll be at work before 9 and you close after 5. Maybe you don't have internet in your house. Maybe there's not enough electricity. Maybe you're just sitting there to wait for the traffic. So it doesn't matter that you're punctual. Are you adding value to your company?
Right.
You've worked in a company for 10 years. And everybody knows that you're there, longevity. And someone comes 6 months down the line and she gets a promotion.
Oh.
What's happening to you?
It's because she added value. It's people say entrepreneurship is the best way to follow because you can grow, you're a CEO, your own boss, and all of that. But if you're working in the corporate society, it's what they call intrapreneur. How entrepreneurial are you to that corporate society? Do you take time to reflect on how you can add value and income to your organization? Yes, there are always going to be no's. So if you come up with a plan, you approach somebody, a boss or somebody, there are bosses that don't want you to grow. That's very true, because that's the excuse that some women are going to make. And they're like, oh, the women in the office, we have to always just be calm. We just have to do the work that is put on our table. But I think women need to start taking the responsibility of standing up,
Pushing back.
putting their voices out there, because we bring life. And there's a lot of biblical attachment to the fact that a woman can birth somebody.
Yeah.
That means you can birth anything and you breathe life into it and it's going to grow.
Don't I just like this one?
So you want to create an impact wherever you are. I always sit and ask myself, if I die today, what is going to be said about me?
Yeah, what will people
What impact would I have left?
Imagine your eulogies in your
Did I lift one woman while I was growing? Did I create a platform where when my kids grow up tomorrow, people will be able to say, I knew your mother. She was a powerful woman. And it doesn't have to be you being financially stable to do all of these things. Your growth doesn't have to be solely dependent on finances. There's so many women in rural areas that are making a lot of impact by farming. They don't know what is social media. They don't know, but they are making so much impact. And they are saving lives, they are feeding families and doing so many things. So I think that at the end of the day, no matter how wanting you are, no matter what goals you set, when you achieve them, and that's why we talk about vision boards when we have organizations. When you build a vision board, you should be ready to have already built another one when you're already at the peak of fulfilling the visions that you have. So if you have a 5-year downtime on your vision board, by the time you're in year 3, you should have other goals that you're already looking at for the next 5 years. And how do you do that? It starts with you being able to fulfill a 3-month plan. You cannot fulfill a 5-month plan,
when you can
5-year plan without even doing a 3-month plan. So that still has to do with responsibility, like Antoinette was saying. You need to have that responsibility to be dedicated, to set these goals, to achieve them. And I always tell people there's power in writing. I know social media has come, we have our phones and notepads, but you can never see me without a book.
I notice you're
because
constant with the book.
they say when you write something down, especially if you write it and place it somewhere that you can read, you can see it every day. It reminds you of what your goals are and how you have to grow from one stage of your life to another. Those things, they keep you up at night. If your dream is not big, that you can't sleep, that it scares you, that, oh my God, like the dreams I have for myself, I know the limitations. I know there are limitations to me achieving the things that I want. But is that going to stop me?
No.
And I hope that every woman is at that point in their life that you tell yourself that no matter how big my dreams are, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going until I get to the level of growth that I want to be.
And when we are still talking about the challenges that women face, we have to realize that we're in a society where in itself there are intrinsic limitations for women. There is wage gap, there is career interruptions because of childbearing, there is lack of financial education for women. Like women, very few women really have understanding of their finances and how to grow. There is this politics in the corporate world where women don't climb to a certain level. It's reduced now, but it's still there. You know, even in other industries, it's similar. And so one thing I think that women need to learn to start doing is to start pushing boundaries. Start pushing the boundaries one day at a time. Irrespective of where you are and who you are working with. Push your boundaries. Push set rules. People who make it in life, people who succeed in life, are not people who follow the rules, are not people who fit within the lines. They always get out of the line. They are always the square peg in the round holes. Those are people who make it. They are always the women who end up with a bad name. They are always those ones who become rebels. I'm an advocate for women becoming rebels. I say this not in a bad way, not in a bad way, but to say that you cannot be a yes woman. There's a book I read, Good Girls Don't Get Far, like good girls don't get rich.
You know, it feels like something
so
we're talking about. The fact
because
that this lady is all there.
You have to learn the shrewdness. You have to learn to be shrewd. You have to learn to be bold. Another thing that challenges that women face is the lack of confidence or risk aversion. We are afraid to take risks. You're like, oh, if it happens like this, what about my children? How about my husband? People say. We have to come to a place where ask yourself, why are you doing this? When I was driving back home, the other day when I left here, and I was thinking about one of the challenges women face, also sex, sexual harassment for men.
Okay.
Everywhere, you see. And I was asking myself, what if with all this thing I'm doing, I go to do business with somebody and they want to have my body before sex? I want to come, and I was just telling myself, I want to come to a place where a man cannot, you know,
intimidate you.
Have the audacity to swing something for me and ask my body in exchange. You wouldn't dare. Why? Because I am at a place where I'm not doing what I do for money. Primarily. Money is part of it. Yes. But it's not for money.
That's not
I'm not doing what I do because I want to feel important. I feel good. I'm confident enough about my life. I'm doing what I do because I want to leave the world a little better than I met it. Because I want to give other women the confidence I have to create the life they want to live. I want to bring other women to the understanding that your reality can be different. I want to help them to dare to have a secondary perspective of their life. To look at, dare to believe that there is another possibility, that this reality you're living, it can be so much better. This life that you have, this is not it. You have the right to punctuate your own life. Life should not be happening to you. You should be commanding the life that you're living. That's why I do what I do. And so if you think that waving a couple of millions before me and telling me that if I don't have sex with you, you can't do this business, you're just the same. Because the truth is out there, with or without your money, I'll be creating a lot of impact. Imagine me talking to 30 ladies and firing them up to go and chase the life that they want to live. Giving them, because success begins in the mind. When you change a woman's mind and make her start believing in herself, she's a soldier. She takes control of her life. She takes in charge of everything, and she'll become very dangerous. Yes, and I know that I have the power, I have the ability. Yes, I know that I have the ability to set that kind of fire in women. I have it. And imagine me setting that fire in 10, 20, 500 women. They would take charge of their life. This world is going to be better. And so you don't need money to achieve that kind of impact. You don't need. I have my phone.
To think of it.
I have the social media. I have Facebook. I have. If we decide that we want to talk to 30 IDPs today who are struggling and they just need to get shift in the mind space to begin to see life differently and begin to believe in themselves more and see how to push them to a place where they start hustling for themselves and get out of some, bad habits. We will find 30 women to talk to. Awesome. And if we follow them up carefully, which is what we're going to be doing in the future, they are going to be different. And so impact is what breeds fulfillment. It's not money. It's not money. It's not how much you're making. And so women have to come to a place where they seize control of their lives from these men who wave monies before them.
It's all about taking a decision
before them. You just have to choose to want it. Want it enough to do anything. One thing I learned from this fine girl sitting here is that she knows what she wants at every point, and she goes for it. If she knows that you have something that she needs, it's a matter of time. She'll meet you. If she has to pay you, she'll pay. If she has to serve you, she'll let. But she's leaving, and everything she does for you, don't think that it's taking anything from her. She doesn't lose her identity in the process. If you tell her, clean my shoe, she'll clean your shoe. Really clean it for you. But then, as long as she gets to achieve what she wants, and a lot of people think that having that kind of servitude mind is a weakness. It's not.
Great.
When you make people feel like they have power over you, you know what you're getting from them. You are the real one with power.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that it's so beautiful about how she pursues life every day. And I think a lot of women have to come to that place where you realize that you are a queen.
Yeah.
Remember
Don't
that
forget
in
that
your
fact.
universe, in your life, you are the only person who has the power.
God, I would want to get this one to you rather. Okay. I don't know if you think that there there is the chance of someone not exactly, like she was talking about, knowing what you want. There is a chance of someone not exactly knowing, not really certain about what they want. Yeah, they're feeling like, I want to be successful. But you don't know exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's happening to a lot of our youths.
Okay.
We're all over the place. A lot of our youths. Now, the advantage that is happening in today's society is that a lot of kids are going to school very early. I think the Ministry of Education has been trying to regulate that and put certain restrictions on ages and all, when children have to start school. But the millennials are already there. The Gen Zs are there already. And they see life differently. So you see people getting ordinary level at 14, 15, advanced level. They're in the university and they're out of the university by the time they're 20. And their life is just about to start. So they're everywhere. They want to be founders of different kinds of businesses, which is good. But then, if you want to grow, like we're talking about personal growth and financial growth today, you need to be able to sit down and take a reflection. You might be confident, you might be a good speaker, you might have the financial availability, but it doesn't mean that you're going to take the right decisions. And even when you take the right decisions, it doesn't mean that you're not going to fail.
Yeah.
What keeps you up is how many times you wake up when you fall. So a lot of people have ideas all over the place. And that's why we need mentors. That's why we attend conferences. That's why we listen to podcasts. That's why we listen to speakers, people who have experienced life from different perspectives, people who have been there and done that. It's true that two people's lives are never the same, but there's no way you go to a conference with your mind dedicated to that conference and you don't learn. You don't learn something. You don't leave there changed. If you before going, you ask those questions. What are the speakers? What are they going to be talking about? By the time you get into that hall, you have a perspective. Or by the time you even register, you know what you're trying to look for. You know what you're going there to achieve. So definitely, you cannot come out the same. Our today's society, so many people, they fans about celebrities or people who have already been successful.
Influencers.
And they confuse saying that this is my mentor. Your mentor is somebody that you have met, that you talk to.
How is that celebrity mentoring
you? That's somebody you have met, somebody that you talk to, somebody who understands your perspective about life and guides you through the decisions that you want to make to get to your goals, to achieve your goals. And now a lot of people are like, this is my mentor. You can look up to somebody, but that person has never mentored you. So I think that there's so many women, there's so many young girls at home who are at crossroads. They don't know if I should go and work for the corporate society, I should be an entrepreneur. Okay, I've decided I want to be an entrepreneur. What am I going to do? What am I going to trade? Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. If you're an entrepreneur and you're not solving a societal problem, you're not an entrepreneur. You can be a businessman, but you're not an entrepreneur. Because running a business is different from being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are people who identify a problem in a society and come up with solutions and try to solve it, because by you trying to solve a problem, you already have a platform for customers. So you're making money like a businessman, but you're solving a societal problem. Now, when you're confused and you have your ideas all over the place and you're like, you don't know where to go forward, that's when you need to sit back. The worst decisions you make are the ones you do rashly.
Okay.
I work with different organizations, especially with organizations that are building internally displaced persons on how to start and run effective businesses. Okay. And I always tell these IDPs that, yes, you're here to learn how to start and run a business. But have you thought through, what do you do to start a business? Do you go to where Muslims are to start selling pork meat? It's going to fail. It's definitely going to fail. So no matter how inspired you are, you need to collect your ideas together. Write them down. Set those goals. Ask yourself, is this what I want to do? How am I going to go about it? And when do I need to go about it? That's the summary of what a vision board is. What I want to do, what I want to invest in, what I want to do. How am I going to do this thing? and when is the deadline or the time limit I want this to be achieved. I think that if women start thinking like that, it helps us to gather our ideas together and gain perspective, because then it's difficult to really be all over the place.
Yeah.
Because lots of stay-at-home moms, they're like, they don't know what to do. What can I really invest in? What can I do with my time? But you need to be able to figure that out before you even get to a mentor.
Yeah, so that you have something to present.
Exactly.
Before you get to a mentor.
And about figuring that out, like you ask clearly, how do we, people who don't know who they are, what do they do, and how do they go forward? The thing is, you have to start by understanding your personality.
Yeah.
What's your temperament? Very few people know their temperament type. What are the things that I am good at? What are you good at? Like me, I always tell them, anything that I know is finger and nail. I don't do. You don't know the girl is talking.
You're there.
Yes, she can never be an entrepreneur.
No, I'm not a salesperson.
Why sell them when you can use them?
I would teach,
That's still okay. But
that's so many
And you
people
have to be
honest.
selling because she's selling her knowledge.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
You see, so you
as
have
much
to
as entrepreneur I am,
Yes.
my siblings don't do business. My siblings are not business minded.
So you have to understand your
They're like, just do the business. And if they even find something they have to sell, they need to come to me to tell me, help me market these things. Me, I can sell anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can sell anything. Anything sell. I can sell and please don't sell us.
Your shop will go.
So I'm saying you have to understand your temperament. When you understand your temperament, you know your strengths and your weaknesses. You know the things that come naturally to you. When you know these things, they guide you towards your natural, abilities. Now, when you have natural abilities, identify your passions. Now, when you identify all these things, you have to add discipline to it. Because if she was passionate as she was, and she was not disciplined to stick to what she was doing, she won't be here. So, know who you are, understand your temperament, understand your abilities, and your natural inclinations, and then begin to walk around those things intentionally. See, growth is a very deliberate process. You cannot, it's easy to just talk about it, but if you don't put your mind and thought to it, intentionally you will not grow. Growth is not an accidental process. Yeah. It's a very deliberate process. It's just the same like finding yourself is a deliberate process. Knowing who you are. It's a deliberate process. You must sit down with yourself and like, what can I do very well that I can capitalize on? I can teach, then I can capitalize on that. I can cook, then I can build on that. I can sell, convince people, then I can capitalize on that. I can dress well, then I can be a model. I am creative with my hands. When you begin to find those things, that's what helps you to begin to know who you are, what you want, it builds. The second thing is identifying whether you are a leader or a follower. Not everybody is a leader. And a lot of times we want to be leaders. We want to be the people ahead.
Want to be in command.
And we don't have what it takes. You can be an excellent follower. I love when somebody has found their place. And when you are a follower, one of your biggest strengths is knowing who to follow. Identifying a good leader to submit to, or a good boss or a good company to serve in. And if you are a leader, learning how to manage people is a skill you must invest in learning. And so identify yourself. Am I an employee or am I an employer? What can I do? Do I have the ability to? Trust me, there are people that even if they open a new shop today, furnish it and give them, they cannot run it because that's not who they are. They need to be behind a desk and they need to be told what to do at every point in time. That people cannot function without instruction. And you have to understand, there's no shame in that, in knowing that I'm the kind of person that I cannot think on my feet.
Because that means you know who you are.
That means you know who you are. Like I am the kind of person that needs to be told what to do. It's totally fine. And there are people like that who are excellent employees. excellent. There are some staff that you have that you wish they would never go because they follow instructions to the letter.
Yes.
You see, and then there are some others that don't follow instruction at all, but they are very creative. You know how to manage those people, and when you begin to know where you find yourself, what am I a follower? Am I a leader? Can I do? You will know how to augment your skills by learning. Okay, this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I can do to be a better version of this who I am. The truth is, everything we want in life wants us. But the version of us that are looking for these things are not ready for the things that we are looking
Exactly.
for. And so if you cannot place your fingers on these things that we are talking about, you would go about life, you know, on autopilot. You sleep and wake up and sleep again and wake up, and no intentionality, nothing. At the end of the day, you are just existing for the most part. Because with everything, even one other thing that we have not talked about here is taking care of your physical health. It's part of growth. Knowing that you have to invest in exercising, knowing that you have to invest in things that feed your soul and stabilize your mental health. Knowing how to stay away from your triggers, because all of us have gone through things. We have baggages, we have traumas. Knowing how to avoid circumstances that trigger your traumas. Avoid relationships with people that breathe toxicity in you. You see, knowing how to deal with all of that is so important to the growth and stability of a woman. And so it's important that while we are trying to find who we are and what you want to do in life, realize that before you find what you want to do, find who you are. Because you're a human being, Masa. You're not a human doing. So let's start from, let's start from there.
Our mind is a very great space. What you tell, you tell your mind how to function. So when you put fear, your mind is going to conform to it. If you tell yourself, I want to start going to the gym, I'll start on Monday. Your mind is telling you start the gym on Monday.
Okay.
That brings us to procrastination. I feel like a lot of us procrastinate. So that restricts our growth. Because you keep telling yourself, I will. And the mind has a way of finding its comfort in our body.
Yes.
So our mind feels our fear. So it conforms to whatever identity we put in it. So the moment you're feeling scared to have that new venture, that new adventure, or you want to go to the gym and you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to go on Monday, your mind already knows that you're not really ready for this gym. So you need to be able to talk to yourself, I am who I am, and I can do this. I can conquer, I can succeed at this. It tells your mind that you are ready. And your mind directs you towards that activity. So it starts from within. Our growth starts from personality.
Personal decision.
Before you can even go to financial.
Are there chances that a family life can hamper your dream of achieving a particular dimension in future?
Come again?
The family life.
Oh, please. Like,
I think...
let her go first.
Like you give your own experience.
So, you know, when we're talking about growth, for like 2 years now, I've been hoping to start a podcast.
Okay.
And I already have the title.
You have everything said already.
But ask me why I've not started. I cannot tell.
Oh.
And I wanted to title this podcast, The Spa.
Okay.
Why? Because I experienced over the years, when clients come to the spa, there's always these conversations that come up.
Yes.
It's either we're talking about nannies, husbands, business, work. There's always a topic.
When there's so many
women
So I ask myself that what if all these ideas and conversations that we share, I share with my clients, what if we're actually recording them?
How do we bring them to life?
What if we actually bring them to life? There's people that are going to volunteer to partake in things like that. And a lot of people are going to learn so many things because almost every day I learn one thing from a client or two. And along the line, one of the topics that came up, that used to come up frequently is our spouses. And people will be like, my husband, you know, there's always the women that their husbands don't want them to work. There's women that their husbands don't want them to grow. There's women that their husbands are very supportive. For me, I give my husband kudos for that one. He's very supportive. And few of us are opportune to marry people like that. Yeah. And that's what Antoinette was saying, that you need to set your rules, gain your perspective and say that this is who I want to be. This is what I want for my life, and this is the kind of person I want to be with.
Yeah.
But now, what if you're already in a marriage before you realize that you're married to this kind of person? Our parents will say, marry the kind, or the internet is telling us, don't marry a rich man, marry a kind man, right? So what if you're already married and you find yourself at crossroads that
you realize he's not
the partner you have is not supportive. It's not the type that encourages your dreams. It's not the type that pushes you.
You're already there.
You're already there. You need to find a way to work things out. One powerful tool that helps a lot of married women is prayers. So what if you're not too Christian and you don't believe that God can turn your husband's thinking around? You need to find a way. And no matter how, even if you married an unkind man, or no matter how wicked someone is, there's so many approaches that you can use to achieve your dreams. Because when you're already in the family perspective, you have to do with being a wife, being a mom, an auntie, and so many other things. Like she said, women wear various coats. Yeah. So how much responsibility have you shouldered, and how much have you proven to your spouse that you're good at this responsibility? Are you the type of woman that your spouse comes home and you are not working, food is not ready, the house is unkempt, the children are not doing well in school? I had a client who told me, yes. I had a client who told me her children, one of her sons is a classmate to my daughter, and he comes first all the time in class. And she told me, and my sons cannot come second. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband foots all the bills. Wow. The only thing I need to do is to teach my kids and make sure that the reward I give their father is that they excel.
Sorry, can buy a bottle of
like really?
That they excel. And her two sons come first. Her two sons come first. They go to the same school with my daughter. They come first in their various classes. And she told me that, no, my children don't need to come second because I don't do anything. My husband pays all the bills and gives me an allowance. So what can I give back to him? I need to be able to make my kids excel extremely beyond limit in school. And now she started her little business. And I'm very certain her husband is going to support her, push through with it, because he's seen how much time she's devoted in being there for their kids and ensuring that they have good educational standards and are doing well in school. So you need to be really intentional about what you want your spouse to conform to. If you don't make him to see that you can shoulder these responsibilities, then he's definitely not going to support you in that dream. I feel so.
You can actually divert his thoughts a particular.
I think so. Not every man will change their perspective, but trust me, in this century, no man wants a liability. No man wants a liability.
Before you talk, Antoinette, let me just give this example. I read something, a story of a man who comes online and he's sharing his worry. Yeah, because he says he's married and he's working, but the wife is not working and they have kids. And he has been trying so much to encourage the wife to do something, to work. But the woman is not supportive. He's not doing, she's not helping in anything, and she just wants to, she has been enjoying that luxury, and she just wants to continue enjoying the luxury until when the man lost his job. And now things become very difficult. They have one car, and now since things are difficult, he needs money to do something, and he wants to sell the car. And the woman is like, no, you can't sell the car. How do you want me to cope? How do you want me to go get the children from school? Do you want people to laugh at me? Do you want the neighbor to laugh at me? And all those kind of things. And then it happened that the man actually, he didn't sell the car, but he had to go and look for a boss to start being a bus driver. Being a boss, not like a bus driver. He will rent the bus and then they will bring him the income. But it happened that he didn't get the driver, and now he has to drive the bus. And one day he was going out because the woman went to pick up the children from school and the car broke down. And she called him and said, come and get the car. You can even sell it if you want. And finally, he sold the car, and then to be able to pay off the bus that he bought to complete the payment. Now, it happened that this man, one day he was going somewhere and then he got kidnapped.
Oh my God.
And the wife was like days, weeks without him. Now this woman saw Pepe, and then she could not, because she was alone. What would she do? That's how she started selling Gary in front of her house. And from Gary, that man came back, thanks to God, and he found a whole shop. See? In front of the house. So this was the fear from fear, and then he's now happy that he has a wife who is able to support him. Yeah. And this is what so many families are going through. So many men are going through. Like, they want to, but they don't see that ability in the woman to do this. And it weighs a lot on the family.
A lot of women don't want to step out of their comfort zone.
Exactly.
A lot of women are just comfortable. I'm working my job, I go to work on time, I answer to my boss, or I'm running my business, and you don't want to grow it.
And maybe fear of the unknown.
Yes.
But the risk,
there's always risk.
And nobody wants to take those risks.
I have heard a lot of stories. It's easy. Women talk a lot. So when we listen to women, we feel like women are the only ones suffering in marriages.
But no.
I am an advocate for women, but this time, let's be honest. There are men who are going through so much in the hands of women. There are women who are lazy, who are unproductive, who are chaotic, who are not also appreciative. There are a lot of these women out there.
And then they'll tell you that, so what do you bring to the table? And
you asked that.
And they feel like they've done a big thing.
Yes. You asked that, can a woman's family life influence their growth and how far they can go? The answer is hell yeah, it can. Why? Because let's start from the beginning. Why do you want to marry is a question a lot of people don't ask.
Before getting married.
I didn't ask myself that. I know why I wanted to marry. To me, getting married at the age that I got married was part of the growth, because thank you. You give birth to you, you go to school, get a degree, get a job, get married. That's a pattern.
Sometimes you get a job pattern, get married first.
Thank you. So that's so wrong. To be able to ask the question, why do you want to get married, informs your choice of spouse. Do you want to get married because you want to start a family? If you want to start a family, you know you're going to have kids.
Yes.
And kids are going to slow you down from your career path for a couple of years.
Sure.
You should know that. Do you want to marry because you want to have companionship and have somebody with you every day, always gisting partner? You will not want to marry an overseas husband. So it will inform the kind of relationship you want to get into. Do you want to marry because you need financial support? It will inform the kind of...
I'm looking for a rich man.
Yes, it will inform you. So whatever your reason for getting married is, it informs your decision. Unfortunately, a lot of women didn't think through it before getting married. And then they are in. One thing that a lot of people still don't do is scheduling. Women don't schedule. We don't schedule. Chaos is exciting. So we live our lives every day on autopilot, chaotic. You sleep and you wake up and you're thinking, whatever will I cook today? Whatever will this day even have for breakfast here? And that time you're wasting to be processing this thing, it's done. Do you know that you can take an hour to figure out what to cook in your house? And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And so we don't schedule. We don't schedule. We want to live life on autopilot. We want to wake up and act as we feel. The day you want to wake up at 5, you wake. The day you want to wake up at 3, you wake up. So there is no plan.
Meanwhile, there's nothing as sweet as going to bed knowing how the next day will look like.
Exactly. We don't have
what to wear, like
and so
everything.
Who you marry to matters. Like who you end up, how you program yourself. How you program you don't schedule. You don't have no plan. All of these things play. Finances play. So if you're a working wife, you want to be able to strike a balance between your job and your home. And the best way to strike that balance is schedule. Number one, you must schedule. You must know what is done when, by who and why and how. When you have that, you put up that system. The second thing is, if my husband is going to watch this, and it's going to be like, we have talked, because it took me time to come to this place.
Okay.
And so thank you, babe. So it took me time to adjust like this, because we grew up in a chaotic home.
Okay.
It was not a culture for us to be that organized. You know, organization, sometimes intentionality can be boring. You have
Though you
patterns.
enjoy it at the end of the day.
Because it's the most productive
yeah.
life. So you have to put systems in place. Number two, you have to get help. You cannot kill. You cannot do everything.
You cannot do it all by yourself.
You cannot do everything. You have to have a timetable. As much as you schedule, this thing has to be done, this thing has to be done. And give time.
Okay.
Breakfast is 8 to 9. Give it time. If not, you will waste a lot of time. You will go to the bathroom to pee. And your phone for the next 30 minutes before you come out. You will waste time like that.
I'm in the tub now.
Why are you attacking me?
No. All of us are guilty. So we have to learn. These are things that we all have to learn. Every now and then we lose guard, and then we just get onto our crazy lives. But then these are things that if you learn that, it becomes easier. It's true that you may be married to an unkind person, or to a bad man, or to a bad woman. Bad is a strong word to use, but
it's a real word.
Yeah, you can be in a situation where it's not very conducive for growth. But if you want to grow, you must be able to find a way within that environment. Growth doesn't have to be big at the time. It starts small. Like Karim was saying, you have to learn how to create value within your environment. Let me share this with you.
Okay.
When I got married, I was a stay-at-home mom for 6 years, plus.
Yeah.
I still am, by the way. So I don't mind this up and down I'm going and doing. I still am. Everybody who knows me knows that my home, my kids is my full-time job.
We'll come to how you balance that.
Right. So in that early beginning, I didn't know how to schedule, to plan, nothing. I mean, I had to learn scheduling up to prayer. I had to learn prayer scheduling.
Okay.
Because there are times that when you go to pray, you want to pray about everything at the same time, and you cannot organize your church. You have to say that Monday I'm praying about this, Tuesday I'm praying about this, Wednesday I'm praying about. Let's get out of prayer. So, but then I had to learn how to schedule life. My husband was on it because he's a very detailed person, and in the beginning was choking me. Because I was like, what kind of order is this? If you say I should keep it here and I've kept it here, is it not kept? Yeah, it's not kept. It's like, it's not the essential thing. You say the teachers should eat breakfast at this time. Have they not eaten? Did you come and meet them crying? What is the problem? But he was always very strict with order.
Meticulous with it,
Very, very strict with order. And I learned. I came to a place where I had to accept that I am a stay-home mom. I have to organize my home as such. Okay. You have to plan meals. The meals have to, you have to consider nutritional intake for the meals. My husband is a full-time worker. He is a full-time breadwinner. He pays all the bills. So what's my contribution? We'll wake up in the morning. We are going to work out together. Before we go to the gym, I have sliced a couple of garlics for him to swallow and drink some good quantity of water, like ½ liter before we go. And while he's doing that, I'm doing it for myself so that I should be able to have strength too. I'll give him his garlic, we go to the gym, we work out together, we come back, as he comes in, he's sitting on his computer to check his meals. I'm in the kitchen making breakfast and fruits, and then I spot it, his water is in the bathroom. It was a whole system that I had to set up. And I did that consciously. When we got married, I didn't used to iron his dress. Like after laundry, I don't know. I used to just wash, pick, fold, and keep. When he wants to wear, I go and drag one and come and iron. Sometimes you go and remove it and come and iron by himself, but it didn't work. I had to realize that I have to program these things. I will iron his clothes. I was not a very good cook too. And so I got my sister-in-law, excellent cook. So God had to come over.
I just feel good now knowing I'm not alone.
No, I used to not be a very good cook, but I made up my mind to learn.
So she has graduated.
Now I'm a great cook. Please.
Still alone.
Yeah, I think that you still need help because I got help. I learned how to. I improved on my cooking. I improved on my sister-in-law. She cooked well. She is so clean and organized. Oh, Jesus Christ! And so I brought her in to spend some time with me just to see how she does things. And I learned. I learned so much from her. God bless her. So every day I know that if I succeed to put my home together at this level, she really contributed a great portion of it. Because I'm firstborn in my home. I used to be very lazy. My kid sisters would, I'll just get about say, you do this, you do that, and you do that other one, and then I'll just you relax. But then when I got married, who is doing what for you? Sister, who will you command? You see, so I had to learn those things. I had to start ironing his clothes, his boxers, fold them. This one's here, that one there. What will he eat now? When he eats breakfast, what will he eat for lunch? What snacks come in between? Is it healthy? Should I make natural juice? If I give him this, what about this? My husband will not have a headache without me anticipating, without me knowing, okay, he has been exposed to this. What can I do to meet up? For a long time, I did that. I really consistently for a long time. And these are things that, unless you get to know somebody and they explain to you, you have to take your home management personal like that.
Yeah.
And if you are a career woman, you cannot do this thing. Get help. This taking care of a home and kids and a man, it's work.
It's a lot.
When you have to go sometimes, take out all your kids' clothes. Which ones have holes? Do they have pants? These pants that if they wear 2 weeks is finished. Which ones have they outgrown? And fold them and keep. You have to have it on your toes all the time. And to be able to do that and have a full-time job as a corporate or an entrepreneur, it takes a toll. And so I'm so blessed I don't have to do that by compulsion. Seriously, I don't have to. But then some people have to. If they don't, the bills will pile. And they have to. In those cases, get help. Not just a paid help. Sometimes negotiate with family. One, I read, there was this lady who was the CEO of PepsiCo at one time, Indra Nooyi. Indra Nooyi. She said in one of her interviews that she's Indian, so Indians have a very family. Indra Nooyi, I think that's her name.
Indian.
Indra Nooyi. She talked about the family values of Indians, how they are very family oriented. And she and she explained how she used to negotiate for her, I think it was her aunt or her cousin and her mother to live with her in exchange just to take care of her kids. You can take a family member and they live with you and you get them to go to school or learn a trade. And they'll be able to assist a grown-up one. These things, people go and take children from the village and come and a child is supposed to be going to school. The child is coming to carry your baby, and their own future is also wasted. Get a mature person because they are mature girls, 17, 18, 22, who have no future. Take them, put them in, negotiate with them. Say, okay, give me a year. Take care of these kids for a year. Next year, I would have stabilized a little. You would do this, you would do that. But most people are so dishonest. You bring somebody in your house, and then when it's time to start doing your own end of the bargain, because when it's family, it's within controllable. You know, negotiate with family, negotiate with people that you can help with. Get help by all means, because you cannot do it all.
It's tricky.
It's getting people who are good, out there. Decent human beings to live with you is not easy. It's not easy.
Right.
Finding help, even within families, is not easy. The world is getting busy for everyone. Life is happening to everyone. But we have to find a way to be supportive with each other. You have to find a way to accommodate each other. We have to. As a society, we have to. As women, we have to. Yes, you have to be able to say that you are going on a work trip and you'll be away for 3 days. Can I have somebody to support you? Can you watch my kids?
Yeah.
And I be able to accommodate that for 3 days.
Out there with a clean mind that
I know that
the children are okay.
I bless God for my life. I have my sisters-in-law. I can drop my kids there at 8 and come and pick them up. They will be good. They will be good. I have people.
But you have very few people like that, though.
And the truth is, some of the reasons why we don't have people like that because we are not the kind of people.
That's another thing too.
You cannot give what you.
Yeah, you cannot.
If you want a good friend, be a good friend.
Yes.
If you want to get help, offer help.
Well, in the society in which we live, I may want to disagree a little because at some point...
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I know very kind people.
Yeah.
Who have not been fortunate to get good help.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I know very mean people who have the best help.
Just rocking it.
So the universe has a way that it plays on us.
Thank
You understand? But I feel that at the end of the day, God will come through for the kind people. But when we were growing up, it was different. Our parents used to go to the village and pray. I remember I have 4 sisters. They will send to them.
Even neighbors.
Exactly. For us, every year, when my mom had a child, every year there was a new maid.
Okay.
And the next one who took care of this person, like all of us, all my siblings, we see our mates now. The ones that my mom sent them to learn tailoring, hairdressing.
Like each person has a maid.
Yes, each of us had maids because when you take care of this child, after 2 years, you need to go and learn a trade. So you decide if you want to keep staying in the house or you want to go. They settle you or you go, or you stay in the house until you can go. That's how my mom raised us. So each and every one of us had a new maid. But it was easier back then.
It was.
Now, the society, the values that we were brought up with are not the same.
Not at all.
You bring a child, some of them are very dishonest. Some of them, some situations, it's us, the people who bring those children who are not kind enough to them. You segregate and treat them differently from your own kids. So how do you really get the help? But like she was saying, I always tell every woman, get the help that you need.
One of the things, the reasons why women don't get to treat, you bring a maid in your house and then they start being that talk of discrimination and maltreatment. There are 2 sides to look at these things, 2 sides. When you take a maid or someone you want to work for you, you have to define who that person is to you.
Okay.
Don't take somebody and start calling them my daughter, my daughter. I don't give them a daughter treatment.
Exactly.
Don't, because you have
you
have created an expectation and they want to relate with you as a mother. With a mother, the child feels free to make an error. But with you, can she?
Exactly.
Can she make an error and go get away with it? On the other hand, before you have to understand when people are coming from somewhere, they come with preconceived ideas, and you have to declutter their minds through communication. It's not nagging, it's not yelling, like real dialogue. Sometimes have a real conversation that are mature. Have real conversations with them. Say, I'm giving you the freedom to be able to take this and this and this, but you don't have access to this and this because of this. For instance, you can be a small family, you're living on a budget, and then you are buying milk maybe in a container and it has to go 1 month, and your nanny will just come and take 3 tablespoons and just make pap for milk. And you have to decide, okay, this milk I'm buying for 1 month is just for the babies. You, in the morning, you can eat cocoyam. You can eat guava, this, all of this. These children should not. And so you don't have access to this. Let them know their role. Let them know they're not here to be children. They're here to work. They are not, you're not my sister. You're not my friend. You're not my daughter. You are my employee. And you're here to serve. And I'll treat you with the utmost kindness and respect. I would treat any other employee. But don't think that because you live here or because you go and come and work here, you are my family member. You're not. And so don't expect the same treatment I give to my children to give you. I'm not going to be unkind to you. I'm not going to be disrespectful to you. I'm not going to be insultive to you. But we are going to have a line that you can't cross. Over time, you build relationship with some people, you build familiarity with some people, and they become family. But you must learn to have these hard conversations. Define these things, because when you don't, people take advantage. For instance, you have somebody who comes and is working for you, and then they want to go home. You say, take this, I bought Gary, or take this small one and go. Tomorrow, they're the ones who ask you for the Gary. Tomorrow, they'll come and tell you that they're not eating the house for one. You become there. And that's burdensome. We don't want to deal with that.
Let me give when I can.
Yeah, but so as much as possible, we need to get help, but we need to be shrewd and very clear about what we want from whoever. Be straightforward. And don't take advantage of people. Be kind. Just be a decent human being. Somebody should not live with you for 3 years and has nothing to show for. Somebody should not even, a maid should not even live with you for 3 years.
Okay, now we are having we are having this conversation, and it's really, really growing deep.
Yes.
We want to get in a context where we are bringing in women to educate them. So you are convening a conference, an intentional woman conference.
Yep, and this time.
Yes, the intentional woman.
Well, I want to take that conference to the international stage, but well, it's with your permission. But then let's stick to the intentional woman conference.
Yes.
And in this conference, what is your objective? Why are you convening this conference?
We're just talking here about success routes for personal and financial growth. The theme of this year's conference is invest in yourself, grow. Growth, like we earlier said, is a deliberate process.
Yeah.
You have to be able to invest in yourself. So the purpose of this conference is to bring women together, to listen to keynote speakers and panelists who have invested in themselves over the years, who have a track record, who have experience that they can share with these women, that they can listen to and know how to strategize and grow from where they are to where they want to be. It's a platform to give women the confidence and empower them with the knowledge and the courage, to pursue their lives.
And courage.
Yes, to pursue their lives and achieve their dreams. It's an environment for women to meet with like-minded women, meet with women who have the same problems like them, who have the same challenges that they have, but somehow have found a way to navigate this challenge and have become something for themselves and know how to leverage on that knowledge to become something for themselves. It's a place to network, get more business, because we're going to have a lot of entrepreneurs coming together. And so if you are selling hair and I'm selling dresses, we can network. I can buy from you, you buy from me. So it's a space for women to empower themselves and really thrive. And why not be happy? Because when you feed yourself, when you invest in yourself and you're productive, you're going to be happy.
Yeah. Okay. So, Karen, you are a keynote speaker in that conference. You're a speaker. Okay, you're a panelist in that conference. So what are your expectations? Which kind of people do you want to meet there?
We've been trying to reach women from different walks of life, so that we can actually touch almost every area that women are faced with in their lives. So I'm really expecting to see not only entrepreneurs like me, but I also want to see, it's a Saturday, I also want to see people in the corporate world. I want to see tech gurus. I want to see, journalists like you people to come and tell us how they do to navigate, because my story is different. As an entrepreneur, the challenges that I face are different from what you as a journalist face, and it's different from what someone in the corporate job or in a company and all that. So we hope that my expectations are to meet people that I have not met before and also learn from them, because being a panelist doesn't give me an excuse not to learn.
Yeah, I want to believe you prepared a whole note.
I'm trying my best.
I like you with your book.
I just wanted to say enough for it to got the book.
I'm trying my best.
Well, Bibiana, do you have something to say?
I would want to say that I have really learned so much. I was actually scribbling some things in the course of learning. At some moment, she would mention one, and I'll need to go back and be clear about it.
Yeah, because she mentioned the vision board.
Oh, she did.
We had a whole program here with vision board.
And a lot of people attend conferences or programs or vision boards, and they leave without understanding how to build one.
You don't say.
Yes, and that's why I summarize vision board building to 3 things: why, when, and how. Okay, I think that if you think of it that way, it becomes easier. Ask yourself, why do I want this? How am I going to get it? And when is my deadline to get it?
Talking about this, a lot of people just attend conferences for attendance sake. Some people just want I'm going to dress up, look good, show where women are, feel good.
Yeah.
As much as we are encouraging women to register for the Intentional Woman Conference, we want women to come to a place where they want to come and receive. We have so much to give to you on that day, so much value to add to your life, so much light to share with women on the day. And so when you are registering for this conference, realize that it's an investment you're making in your future.
Exactly.
It's realize that It's an investment you're making in creating the life that you want to live. And so come there expecting to receive something, because it is your expectation that will draw out of the wells of water that the women who are coming to speak to you will bring. Because sometimes the atmosphere in the room draws out what you're going to speak. You come with your long speech, but then the energy in the room calls out something else. Yeah, the energy in the room calls out something. So I'm going to say to every woman who is registering to attend the Intentional Woman Conference, set an expectation in your heart. Come ready to receive. Yes, before coming. Come with an expectation. Come knowing that your life is never going to be the same again. Come knowing that you're coming to receive your power, the courage, the confidence, the push you need for the next level of your life. That's what the Intentional Woman Conference is going to do. She said amen.
So I love the fact that we've just given an iceberg of what people should expect from the conference, and it's really, really impactful. It's enriching. Speaking with people who have lived it, who've gone through that. Like it's rare to find a woman says I've been a stay-at-home mom for 6 years, and she's okay with it. And she still is, and she's okay with it. Like so many people tell you, no, I'm doing something. I'm doing a business. What kind of business are you doing? Exactly. They will not tell you, but they are ashamed to say that they're stay-at-home moms, which is not a bad thing. As Antoinette said, you can be at home and you're doing something. You're adding value to your family, to your husband. So, Bibiana,
and to your world.
And to your world.
Because the children you raise, they are the quality of human beings you raise in your home. Add values to society. Imagine that you raise recalcitrant children, or children who are not confident, children who are fearful. It would influence, it would impact the society. And whatever you do as a mom within your home has a huge impact within the society. It really does. And so just keep shining your light wherever you are. Have a good time.
I can't forget the word. Growth is deliberate.
Yes. Right. Intentional.
You should be intentional in making these decisions. Okay, you say.
Well, so growth is intentional. It's all about decision, taking the decision, and that is how we saw it today on Femme. Yes. You should take the decision, take that deliberate decision to grow, because if you don't, it has to start from you. Yeah. If you don't take that decision today, well, you can still be procrastinating and it will not be good. So that is how we saw it today on Femme. Maybe if you missed out today, you can catch up on Monday at 2:30 p.m. on Monday. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Media. And if you want to attend the conference, the Intentional Woman Conference, then just like, share, and comment. We'll tell you where you get to the conference. Meantime, bye-bye and stay blessed.